Welcome back to Factorio. I'm River, and I am re-addicted to this game, it seems like. So you're getting a third episode. I've barely put out the first. Didn't get the most number of views, but often these videos don't. It's more up to YouTube, I've learned. So I did get a dislike. I'm assuming that was someone, because they can only assume what someone disliked it for, right? So I'm going to assume it was somebody who wanted to see Transport Fever 2. And if that is the case, I appreciate the sentiment, but I have no idea what you really disliked. Either that or they just didn't like the video, which is okay too. So in any event, I have done some things, but not too much. Mostly I started out wanting to let our steel build up, and started doing some research, and I realized, let's zoom way in, we needed to get some sand. So I built an assembly machine and also put in a couple miners for our stone over here, ran the power over. So we're making sand in order to get some glass so that I could make our electric things. I also put in a couple burners to get some more bricks, and the reason for that is I'd like to pave, and you'll see that plan. But now I also upgraded these to electrical labs at this point. We don't have any research picked at this moment, but we can do that in a second. And then the other thing I did, just so you guys, especially if you're new and don't know this, if you hit F4, you open up this big window. And I definitely like your guys' opinion on what kind of base we should build. I don't think anything that I do now can't be undone. But one of the things I like to play with at times, and I'm not going to do it all the time, I think it's too much for the videos in particular, but at times I like to put on this grid. So if you see, it's like the same grid you see when you're paused. Let me just hit F4 again and get rid of that. And what I've done, if we zoom out, is I like to start making boxes out of this. Now, in the future, I'll upgrade these paths to be 4 or 5 wide, depending on, usually 4 wide is what I do, but we can always decide what to do. And this sort of starts breaking it out into chunks where we could say, well, let's do something in particular in this chunk. Sometimes you need a double chunk in a way of looking at it. But it helps me sort of lay out exactly where I want to put things, and sort of gridifies it. I guess my brain works better that way. A little bit less helter-skelter to a game that's a lot of helter-skelter. Sometimes we'll just commit like a whole grid to maybe being a bus, right? So as we go forward, let's look at the map real quick. You could see the grid on here, which I kind of like. So you can kind of step back and say, okay, well, if I brought my iron in down this way, or I'm sorry, that's copper up there. If I brought my copper down into here, we could do this over in this area, that over, and there's the iron over there. Iron in that way. With the distance these things are away, I'm definitely thinking we should head towards trains. Again, I haven't gotten too many opinions. A couple people said they didn't like, said they never saw the video before, or never saw this game before. So that's great. That's exactly, if I had to make a first video, that's exactly what I would want to show you guys. Because I think this is an awesome game. Let's turn off the grid again for now. There we go. We don't, again, I think it gets to be too much to see in a sense in the videos. So in any event, we're making bricks so that we can pave some more of this out and sort of lay it out. Now, you'll see, of course, I probably should have done that first, but we didn't really have even the ability to make coal, and so you can see we're kind of in a bad spot in some ways here. But that's all right. Well, this is, for the most part, very temporary. I mean, we may keep it for a while like it is, but it's really just there to get us our initial science going. I did add another red science maker because when we do, it was really cutting through the red, and there's a lot of red things that we can investigate. I noticed that I forgot to put down a grabber inserter to get ourselves some copper, so we got that. And I did add to the amount of iron that we're making. So you can see right now we're pretty much backed up, but I just wanted us to get to that kind of point. So I have, what did I leave you with? Do we only have like 2 of these maybe? I forget. We either had 2 or 4, I think, in the last episode. So we now have a decent number more, and I took away our old iron making things. I also often like to put a chest near the exit of this. Doesn't really matter. As time goes on, we'll move it. But you find, like, if you move certain things, you end up getting iron in there. And sometimes it's kind of hard to put it back into the circuit. I mean, you can dump it back into the into the furnaces sometimes, but that can be a problem as well. So there you go. So I think that's pretty much everything I did in between the episodes. And what I think we should do, here's something I did. I cleared out a relatively large area right here. And what I would like to do is start making some steel. So do I have enough to make more of these furnaces? Of course not, because that would have been smart. So by the way, these paths do help you run faster. So that's the other thing about setting up that grid, is it sort of always gives you a path. Yeah, so let's make 10 more of these. Yeah, I think that'll be fine to get started. So I did do some research, of course, just because as I was letting time roll forward, and some of it was just me getting addicted again. So we got down to military 2, which will be good because that'll be like the next step towards military science. I was also hoping to get to cliff explosives, but I think that's a bridge too far. So we would still have to get into oil processing, all good stuff, but it's still, it's all red and green, right? So we can get there, but, and the reason for that, the cliff explosives is nice because if you look at our next square over here, we've got a number of cliffs, and they really, they really will start getting in our way greatly. Yeah, we got a biter's nest we're coming up on already. What is that? Why is that not even... Oh no, that's rocks. I thought that was... Never mind. Huh, why are they all damaged? I don't understand that. Is that meteorites doing that? I don't know. All right, well anyway, let's research something, right? Let's figure out what we want to research next. So, steel axe is awful nice and it won't take us very long. Why don't we just do that to keep researching? But if you look, all of these are just red researches, and we have red and green. So if you look, there's a lot of research that we can do. All of this stuff, until we get down to here, then that's flamethrower and other things are more, we're going to need the gray science as well. But there's quite a few things that we're going to be able to research. Now, we don't have a great producing facility there, so we're not going to be able to, as they get bigger and bigger and need more and more science, we're going to certainly probably want to upgrade, but this will keep us going for quite a while. And we could talk about upgrading the number of these we have, but all things in good time, right? So now that we can make steel, I think we should make a steel thing. Now, do we want to steel iron? What we have to do to make steel is like process it twice. Right, and let's just make sure they didn't change it. So we're going to go, I don't think I want to, let's figure it out with the belts first. Yeah, so this one's a little bit different. We're going to use a good amount of iron, but we're also going to need to get coal to both sides of this. So I'm thinking what we do is maybe just make a single row of steel, like make one each individual, and we don't need that much coal. So what I'm thinking is we would bring, say, iron. Now we'll put the on the outgoing. Yeah, let's do it this way. So iron will come in here. Well, can we bunch it up? Well, let's leave an extra space. All right, iron will come in there and get split. After it gets split here, all right, we'll leave that so I don't make a mess of things, at least until I figure out. Yeah, we don't really need the splitter for this moment, do we? Because eventually, if we put another steel, we don't even know if we're going to do that. I don't want to build things that we don't need. So let's leave it in line with this one. All right, so that would be iron coming in. And then what I'm thinking we could do is put coal, but only on one side. And then when this guy... Is that getting too fancy? Yeah, I think I should put iron and coal over here. All right, let's change that. Means I'd move this over one more. Now we're going to need a lot more. Are we in line? Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I would change this at that point because yeah, we might want to do this. Yeah, that's a little bit awkward. You know what? We could do it this way. Let's just have this guy jump from there to there. Right, so coal will come in here, and then, because we're going to need a lot less coal, so then we'll do like a long inserter and a short inserter. And then this isn't right anyway, because this guy is going to have to, here, you know what, I think I'll put him up top. This guy is going to feed into another one of these. And then this guy would feed out, or take the steel out. And then if we decided to, we could run it, and so this would be the steel coming down and out of here somehow. But then this guy needs to get coal. Yeah, so what we should probably do is like a central belt, just in case we wanted to ramp this up. I don't know that we would, but I would do this at that point. Right, so the steel would go out, and then if we had another one, it could put it on the other side here, and then this guy gets reversed. So, because this is going to be coal as well, so we don't need any of this. No, that can stay there. Right, and then this, and then that needs to be a splitter. Right, so they'll have coal coming in, and then, yeah, that should be it. So then we would feed this into there, and they'll have iron. All right, so let's set up some more of them. Yeah, let's see, does this pole? Yeah, getting the expanded electric will really be nice, because then we can, so I think what I'm gonna have to do is put a pole here and here, and then we'll do like sets of 4, right? And then a space, because we have to put a pole in. Yeah, let's do, well, that's, yeah, it's actually a pretty slow process. We're probably gonna have to build a few railroads. Plus we could talk about upgrading this in a bit too, but I'm worried that we just really don't have enough of anything, to be honest. All right, so let's set this up nice and symmetric looking, right? There we go. So then we put one of these, one of these, one of these. And then these need to be taking our iron out. Well, that actually doesn't need to go quite that far. And this could get busted up. Let's stick all this coal in one of these, and iron. So there you go. So this guy will produce iron. Nothing's going to happen until we get our power going. But like I said in the last episode, I sort of like to get all these where I think it's going to work, and then we can just run power in this way. Now, this is going to suck up a lot of our. It's going to suck up a lot of our stuff. If we look at, yeah, can we find it in here? Yeah, steel plate. 5 iron plates for every steel plate. So you can imagine, yeah, that's going to be quite a bit. All right, and then I guess we should have, oh, there we go. We got a steel. So for now, let's go ahead, since we got this right here, and we'll get, we already got a wooden crate. Might as well use it. And we'll get this guy, putting it in there for the moment. All right, and then we'll decide how and what we'd want to do next. All right, so I'm going to stop the recording for a few seconds and figure out what I'm going to do next, and I will be right back. Okay, I had a quick look at our next science thing, and then I thought, wait a minute, why is all that red completely backed up? And I see that we really probably could use another lab or two just to speed that up a little bit. I was wondering why it takes longer. So each thing that, as time goes on, each, if you didn't know that, you know, each of these takes, each of those science goals, the topics, need additional science, so it starts taking longer. And some of them, you have to watch this too. Like if we come here, see, this takes 30 seconds. So some of them were only taking 10 seconds earlier. But what I thought I would like to do, and I may pause the video again, is I would like to get this nanobots, and because they'll help me clear things. Now, when you use these nanobots, which is a mod, they don't give you the material. So that's a big, it's kind of a plus and a minus. But if I want to clear all these trees out, they'll do the job for us. But at the same time, they won't give us any of the wood. Now, I've made a little chest, which I like to do in a somewhat location. So we have a lot of wood right now. We're making stone from that quarry, so if they clear out stone, that won't be too big a deal. So let's go ahead actually and get, okay, what do we need? Okay, so we need some more glass, which I kind of thought was coming. Now, again, a lot of the recipes have changed. I don't know if it's the space exploration or, you know, I'm just going to take 10, what I need, put the rest back. All right, so we'll just put like 2 more of these. Takes a little while to make them. And go from there. So there, we'll get this done. Now, let's take a look at the map. And you can see my little grid here, maybe. Hopefully you can see it through our pollution cloud that's growing. Now, if you note, by the way, I don't think we would be getting biter attacks. I like to leave this pollution on even... Well, not what, you know, even if I'm in peaceful mode, because it won't really affect them, we're going to have to go out and attack them. And like I said, what I'd like to do is make it, as we expand, if we get close to one where I feel like they would attack us anyway, we'll go clear out the base. Like, in other words, do we go clear out this big base here, or this base, or this base, right? Just because it's close to where we would go get iron. But what I'm thinking of is having a path in and out that would be along this line here. Like we have oil right here, and I'm thinking we should actually like expand the next things I want to do over this way. Even though in the last episode I said it'd be nice to be centered more over here in the long run. I'm not so sure that that's true. You know, we have our little power thing or water pump down here, but we really can run water kind of anywhere. We got plenty of water. So I don't think it really matters. You know, for right now, I'm fine with our power, which is right here, I think. You know, and it's kind of far away. I mean, I know we're not playing with them coming in to kill us, but at the same time, it's sort of in a central location to not polluting them. So we'll see what happens. We can upgrade a lot more stuff before that happens. Here, let's get the nanobots going. Yeah, see, nanobots take 30 at 30, and so we'll start that research. And then after that, by the way, I think what I would like to do is start getting towards trains. I want to get heavy armor. So that's one of the reasons I researched some of the science, right? So is that we could get Like we needed this military and the steel processing to get ourselves some armor, and then we'll get ourselves some better, well, I don't know about weapon shooting, but eventually we'll get those, but we'll get ourselves some better weapons. But I'm thinking for now that we kind of declare this area above, because there's not too many cliffs until we get over here, but we can get oil up in through here, right? Here's some uranium. So we'll bring in copper and or iron into this path, and if we have trains, we'll put the train stops right up here, and then we'll have this. So this will be where we start processing and whatnot. Obviously, I could have, as far as our grid's concerned, put those things in there better, but that's okay too, right? It's not, we don't have to have the world's perfect grid set up, especially not to start. So, and eventually this will get all eaten up and taken away. And these iron and copper won't last us too long, so I definitely want to get that on the make. All right, so the question is do we start, I'm wondering if we don't start towards like some gray science. Maybe this one we'd put in here, which is why I would want to clear all these trees out and start getting some gray science sent over this way. Now we did get these going, these two labs. So instead of putting them right here, I'm going to put them two off of there, but in line, and then I'm going to do this because we could take and bring another set of science in this way. All right, we'll have to turn that, not like that. Turn that like that. All right, so if we start making gray science, we can bring it in on here, and they'll both be able to grab it. So let's get some. Power pole will go here. There. No, there. Yeah, really, that one should be there. Yeah, we still got power. Good. Good. So there we go. So now we've doubled the speed with which we'll make those things. So let me go up and grab some more. Over and grab some more of these bricks. And so what I'd like to do, let me lay out a little bit more grid, or at least enough that we can kind of really see what's going on with it. That'll give a little bit of time for the nanobots. And then I'll probably research a bit of trains and then just lay out this grid. We should probably, actually, we're probably going to be able to do the nanobots pretty quickly. So, yeah, I really would like to get them on the build, rather sooner than later, which is also leading me to, do we start laying out our own mall? Now, I know there's probably going to be mall designs that I could copy, but I really want the challenge of laying out our own mall. So let me lay out like a space or two, and then we'll decide where we can put a mall that there's not too many. And by a mall, I mean a place we can go to get all the stuff we need, like belts, and we'll make the assemblers, we'll make the splitters and the underground belts, and we'll see if we can't figure out a good way to do that on our own, and with your suggestions. So let me start laying out some more of our little grid here. It'll help us run back and forth a little bit quicker to places, and it'll also, I don't know, like I said, helps me organize my thoughts around those things. So I will see you guys in another few minutes, and I'll do some more research, probably just on the trains, but I'll let you know whatever I do. It's not going to be that exciting. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, we're back again. I expanded our grid a little bit and did some thinking. The decisions you make aren't really that critical, but you'll find yourself moving stuff a lot less if you think it through. So what I have, let's zoom all the way out, is I decided that this is going to be a main road. Like if we look at the mini map over here. So this is where I was talking about bringing things in and out. So I'm picturing at some point maybe train tracks and belts. We might put a bit of a mini bus here to get started where we take stuff. But then what I would like to do, I think, is in this area here, where the map, I hope you guys can see, and then this area down here. Now we have a little bit of cliff in here, which is annoying, but that's what the cliffs are until you get the explosives. So the problem with building in here is going to be if we do come up with the explosive, they might damage the buildings around it. So I don't know. So what I'm thinking of saying is that like up here, we're going to leave enough room to be able to make the things that we need. Right? And this is the advantage to having this FNEI. That I mean, you can do the same thing with a website and figure things out. But I came in here and I was just looking at whether they've changed these things up on me. So in other words, we definitely want to make yellow belts. This is for the mall, if I didn't just say that. So in other words, we're going to make these belts. And then we want to upgrade to the red belts, which is going to need the regular belts. And then let's click on the splitter. The splitter is also going to need belts. So it's not, even though we have to make these motors, I don't think it's going to be too different than what we've done in the past. So what I'd like to do is try to find about the middle of this, right? I think I'm about in the middle. It doesn't have to be exact. And I want to say like up this way. Now let's leave a good amount of room for some belts and whatnot to cross in the front here. Like, we'll come down, I don't know, this far. That should be enough to get materials back and forth here, hopefully. And then, so this would be the start of where we'd make our intermediate ingredients, right? Like if we need gears and stuff like that. And that should keep us away. And then we'll come down to like, say, here, hopefully. This way we don't damage too much. Let me make sure I'm like straight in a line. Yeah, so we're straight in a line right here. It's a little further away than I would want, but, and by the way, we'll build another one a little bit closer. I just want to sort of lay this out a bit. So I want to leave 3 spaces, which these are 1, 2, 3. Really, so then 1, 2, 3. So we'll stop there for now, and this will give us a little extra room to wiggle in the future. So the bottom line is, then we're going to do like 1, 2, 3 over here, right? 1. I know, let's think this through a little bit better. Oops, not belts. So what we're going to want is yellow belts coming out of here. And then I think we're going to need to use long-handled inserters, right? So that this guy should be able to bring from there and put it over into here. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So what is that? That's 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3. Right, and then I guess on this side we'll do the splitters, and then on this side we'll do the underground belts. And this is a pretty normal start, so yeah, hopefully this works out pretty well for making these things. And then right off the bat, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put these here so that at some point we can upgrade to the red belts, and then 1, 2, 3, and this would be for the blue belts. Because if you look, let's just click on the blue belt recipe here. So we need the red belts to make the blue belts plus some lubricant. So hopefully we'll be able to work all this out. But there we go. So probably want to just, I think, get these going first, right? So like the first thing we would need in order to make the belts is these motors and the iron plate. So in the past, this was often just a huge number of gears that were coming down here, but we're going to need to bring the belt or the motors down. Now, what does this guy need? He needs motors, but he doesn't. So I think we can, do we need gears? No, we don't need gears anymore. And then we can't make the red ones, right? No, so we'll have, well, we're working on logistics too right now. Is there a reason that's so slow? Let's go look. Make sure we're still making science. Oh no, are we not making green science, or we're just not making enough? Why aren't we making green science now? Oh, because we're sucking up all our belts into here. Well, all the more reason to get this going. I don't think we need the red things right this minute anyway, so let's just get this going. Now, part of our problem is going to be getting the copper and whatnot up here. That's why I stole, look, if you look, I stole all the belts out of there. Yeah, so the question would be, all right, let's come up here. Let's say to here. And see, what does a motor need? Let's set this one to doing motors. Now, eventually we're going to need the blue motors as well. So maybe I'm thinking, yeah, let's take another one of these. All right, and we'll just set this to blue motors and see if that would... Yeah, so we're going to need copper coils, which is okay. We could do a line coming down with some copper coils. We'll make a copper coil thing here. All right, so having said that, we're not going to worry about this exact second, but we'll make those in a minute. So we need gears. Yeah, now what is the ratio? This is where we do want to start paying more attention. So the motor is 0.6 seconds. And let's just say we had this one making copper gear or gears. The gears are going to be... So we're going to need, how many? Just one gear. So we're going to need one gear maker for this, which is kind of okay because we can just do, well, one gear maker would supply 2 of these. Yeah, so maybe let's change this up. And plus we're going to be sucking off some of our motors for... Some of the motors will be going to the blue in the future, so I'd like to get more of those going. And then we'll run the motors down like this. And I think we'll run the iron plates to get started like this. All right, we'll break that for now, though we'll probably need them in the future. Again, this is not going to work out very well in the sense of it's just, there's going to be a lot to be desired. So these are going to be put, we'll put the output like there, and then the input of this one can go into there like that, right? So this will be, on the far side of this belt will be the motors. And then when it comes to this will be our gears, right? And they just need the iron plates. And I'll have them put out if we did this and this, right? And the thing about this will be, let's make a couple iron chests. Well, let's make a bunch of iron chests. Right, so we're going to put that there and that there. And then that way, if it does back up, we'll be able to just grab them. Let's put these iron chests down here. Right, so now, I'm going to do this. Well, if we do this, then we can just do that. All right, so that would put the iron gears on the opposite side of where the motors are going to come out. Now, I'm pretty sure this will work out. Let's see. Might be a matter of flow, but there we go. Do we get just this much going? Yeah, so that would get our gears coming down to, this row right here. We should be able to jump over this cliff. All right, and then that should probably, I don't know what I need for, let's take a look at red belts. No, they don't need a motor. How about the blue belts? No, okay, so we don't need to worry about motors coming past this point, so we'll just leave that like it is. And this guy needs motors, and I'm pretty sure we said this guy needs motors, right? Yes. And then this guy is also going to be pulling in that. So there, let's get some power. I guess we'll get the power from the south, since that's, we'll bring it in like along here. Now I want to leave at least the space, and then maybe another one, because I didn't quite, because if we decide to widen this, and this will also feed into our, ability to do like roads here and not run into them if we have cars. Yeah, so I think for now, just run along. That's not real. That's really not where I want to. I bet you a bottom dollar that there's going to be a belt right there. Yeah, let's just snake these guys through these. Yeah. All right, so now, I didn't mean to put those away. Can we get? No, I think we're just going to have to do like this until we get the better. All right, it's kind of ugly, but yeah, that's a lot of poles, but we could try to come down either side maybe better. We'll see. We'll clean it up at some point in the future, and then this guy can go. All right, so that should get us. Let's just see if we can kick belts getting made, if nothing else. So that means we need to get iron into here. So again, now this one's already made wider, and just so you know, like one of the reasons for this is, if you look, that's just the right width. So if you make your road 4 wide, the yellow belts can jump right over it. Now, do we want to bring the iron all the way up here? Or let's just, we don't really, like eventually we'll be having iron up here. But I'm thinking for now, with the iron and the copper, we can just sort of figure it's going to come up that way, right? So one day we'll have a output there. We might have to have a splitter here. So we'll say like this would be pretty good for the iron. And again, same idea here. We don't want to be there or here just in case we want to jump across. So we'd want to be, let's say, here. Right, and here we'll jump across like that. Will we? Yeah. So do we want to prioritize our science? And by that I mean, if I split off of here, then the science will get the first shot at anything. So let's do that for now, since we'll sort of prioritize the science since we don't really have anything running. And eventually we'll definitely upgrade that. So we're going to turn this guy out, but I'd want to, yeah, I really kind of want to get on the other side of this. So I'm thinking we're going to want to do the same thing with copper as well. Yeah, so I think the copper would come down this way, and then I know I can jump over. Might as well make it as long as we can. All right, so then all right, so let's take this guy, I don't know, right here. I don't think it matters too much. I'll run them up the middle. All right, and then where are we going? We're going over to here. So I think I want to run the copper on the inside. So we'll have a copper here, which means we want like that. See why I grabbed all our belts. And until you really get going, you're just going to have to fight that if you don't know that already. Alright, so, you know what? Let's... Copper can end there for now. We don't really need it, but that should get our iron all the way over here. And we should be able to see some belts getting made. So while we're waiting for that, right? There you come. What I'd like to do is see, what do we need for this guy is just... Okay, now we're going to need iron plates again. And we're going to need a belt for that. This is going to be a real slow process. Now, we made some iron chests. And I think we're going to put those there, there, and there. Which means we're going to get rid of these. Yeah, I think I may be better off coming down the middle. Other than that's going to mess up. Alright, because then we're going to want to do like this, so we have a place to grab these things. And then this guy's going to need iron. So we'll jump over the cliff. I guess we might as well... Might as well jump the longest we can. Oh, there's iron plates over there. Well, iron plates... Yeah, let's see. What does this look like? Right, that's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's... We're going to bring another... This may obviously need to get upgraded at some point in the future. Alright, so now we should be making... we're letting the gears go by. I don't know if that's... I can't imagine we wouldn't need gears for something in the future, but I think I want to stop that from... Yeah, that guy will still take off of here, I'm pretty sure. So let's filter right gears. All right, and then let's go pick all these up using F. There. So now, oh, you are not picking up gears. So that means we really need to move this guy down one. Or otherwise the other guy he's not going to be able to put the things back out. Oh, you know what we could do? Yeah, for the moment, let's leave that like it was. All right, let's go over, pick up some of these. Yeah, they're only going to escape eventually anyway, so we put 40 gears in there. Now what do you need? Why aren't you getting plates? Oh, you're not getting output. Okay, that's fine. And then what I'm thinking of is we do this and then that. Right, now the problem is he's putting it out below this guy is the problem. Okay, so let's switch that around. All right, we'll put our gear thing filter there. We will put a belt back in. So this guy is going to do this number. Yeah, it doesn't really matter where that guy goes. All right, so he should be bringing in gears. This guy's putting those on there. Now, why aren't we doing... Oh, because we don't have... We don't have iron plates coming in. How's that getting you working? Why don't you have gears? There's your... because you're... All right, so what do we do here to get that switched over? We can do... Yeah, let's switch this up a bit. Rather than you come that way, I think we could do... No. But we could do... I didn't want to, like, necessarily take up the next lane. Right? And then we can get rid of that. And then this guy can pull them in. All right, I didn't really want to have to take up that extra lane at that point. All right, there we go. So now, what are we not doing down here? You need iron plates as well, so that means you're going to have a splitter. Let's do the belt first. Right, there. There, I think we have the start of them all. All right, and I'm not going to worry about these. We need to get logistics 2 going anyway, and it's stalled because we're making tons of belts, which we may want to stop that at some point in the near future. But at least we're going to be making these kind of things automatically. Now, it seems like, yeah, this guy's going to need iron plates as well, which is fine. All right, can we jump? Yeah, I think I can jump clear over that, right? Yeah. No, you know what? I want to jump from here. That way we clear this intersection, or if we want to bring another belt down this way, we could. Hopefully, we won't have to. And then, right, and then this guy should be able to grab from right off of there. Now, you have no power, but you also are going to need. Yeah, let's. You're not attached. Okay, well, let's. All right, we'll bring this down. If nothing else, we'll get rid of some flashing stuff. And then you. I guess it doesn't matter how you bring them in. Pull you off the main line. There we go, the very start to a bus. So we'll be making our splitters and whatever else, and we're gonna it's gonna get a lot bigger, but at least we got something being made, and that should alleviate, because we're gonna be making belts. Now look at all that. Yeah, we're definitely, if you ramp one of these things up, you can use up your materials, which is good. We want to use what we're making. The only thing is we don't really want to run out of iron, and before we have to go to a lot of extra lengths to get the iron. So let's come to here to end the episode. We're going to come down to here, and I'm just going to, let's cut off how many of these we save over here, and I can even take these extra belts out of here, right? And then if we come back, so that should get our green science going again. So I'll probably let a little bit go forward. I'll think a little harder in between the episodes about what we're going to do here. And can I just put these back in? Yeah, good. All right, now why aren't you grabbing? Because you know no power to this guy. Like I said, we might even work on the science of new power poles. There we go, good. So now we're making those. Now the other thing I want to do is we don't need, certainly not that many of those belts. Let's make a whole row of belts. I think that's 1,000. And then here, I think we're more than enough if we got 2 stacks. And then that'll let us get to these next ones. And then we'll have to see, like I said, I'll figure out what I want to put in here next. And then let's just go check, make sure we're making some science before we, yep, there we go. Not real blazing fast. Yeah, look at all our iron is going right by. Now, hopefully it's filling up. We'll take a quick, we'll have to see. But yeah, iron's going to real quickly become a problem. Now we can expand our iron thing. Well, let's see what happens. I will play a little bit of time forward, maybe let things back up. But I kind of want to come right back and do another episode back to back and keep working on our mall and keep laying that out so that we can get the other things. I really want to get the nanobots before we start building railroads and all that stuff, because that'll help us clear the land on the way out there. So yeah, so well, we're making green science again, and using up all of our iron. So I might expand that iron in between the episodes, just the same thing we were doing before. If we zoom in and look, so just more, just till we run out of room down there is what I'm thinking. Okay, guys. Well, I will talk to you in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm definitely enjoying getting back into Factorio. So if you didn't enjoy it, let me know what you didn't like about it, rather than just leave a dislike, which doesn't really tell me much, because I definitely appreciate your opinions. Well, thank you, guys, and have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.